Aloha mai kākou, e kamai the Curtain Call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. Tempa Naorʻs presented the second part of their three-part music medicine series last Friday at Pro Arts Playhouse. This one was entitled Bottom of the Barrel Blues. They were joined by the redoubtable blues guitarist Jimmy Dillon, along with his wife Kelly on percussion, and David Fraser added an authentic note by joining in on a couple of numbers in the second half on the harmonica. Once again, this show demonstrated not only Tempa singer Naorʻs and Naor Naorʻs vocal mastery, but their conscientious production capabilities. We were taken on a journey of the history of the blues, from Bessie Smith and Big Mama Thornton to Koko Taylor and Billie Holiday. Ms. Singer Naorʻs is an engaging storyteller, and she shared many of her personal relationships with this material. She started the journey with a heartfelt rendition of Bessie Smith's I'd Rather Be Dead, then swung into a smoking version of Koko Taylor's Voodoo Woman. Mr. Dillon was joined by his wife for an original Fall Out of Love, which was so the blues. Then Ms. Singer Naorʻs related a story about a bipolar love affair that she endured, which inspired a song about an abusive relationship she could not detach from, entitled Here I Go Again. Ms. Singer Naorʻs declared she was a major fan of Nina Simone, and she performed the Bessie Smith classic that Ms. Simone revived, I Want a Little Sugar in My Bowl. It's a sexy tune. Ms. Singer Naorʻs intoned the sensuality and desire in it to perfection. It wouldn't be a blues show without T-Bone Walker's Stormy Monday, and let's just say Ms. Singer Naorʻs killed this. She closed out the first set with Big Mama Thornton's version of Hound Dog. After hearing Ms. Singer Naorʻs version, that other one by that guy from Tennessee pales in comparison. After a brief interlude, she told the story of Blind Willie Johnson, then opened the second part with what can only be described as a glorious, plaintive wail and launched into his Soul of a Man. She credited Bonnie Raitt with bringing back Sippy Wallace and did one of Ms. Rait's signature songs, Ms. Wallace's Women Be Wise. She didn't want to continue without singing Happy Birthday in her own inimitable style to one of the members of the audience. It felt like an intimate reunion. So many in the audience knew each other. Ms. Singer Naorʻs shared Mr. Naorʻs' hesitancy in doing a solo blues number due to his rather pronounced Israeli accent. However, when he turned Screamin' Jay Hawkins' Chestnut, I Put a Spell on You, into a gorgeous love ballad to Ms. Singer Naorʻs, miraculously, his dialect disappeared, and she, as well as the audience, clearly loved it. When Ms. Singer Naorʻs did Memphis Slim's Mother Earth, one of my favorite songs from the 60s, they put up a photo of Tab Benoit, a Louisiana blues artist, and the only white person's photo backdrop in the entire show. All I can say is, sit down, Tracy Nelson. Ms. Singer Naorʻs is in the house. Ms. Singer Naorʻs asked if anyone there knew who wrote Wang Dang Doodle, and of course, someone immediately shouted Willie Dixon, and she launched into a raucous version of this great working person's union anthem. The show closed with a tribute to the great Lady Day, Billie Holiday. She did an astonishing version of Lover Man, and for the Hana Ho, it was Muddy Waters' Mojo Workin'. The audience was on their feet cheering and applauding another amazing performance by some of our finest artists. Ms. Singer Naorʻs has the ability to take songs that we all know and love and to sing them as if we had never heard them before. She finds heartfelt moments in these songs which clearly resonate for her, and she embraces these and shares them with her audience to its delight. She owns these songs. But her Lover Man was something else. Billie Holiday had the most distinctive and recognizable voices of the 20th century. No one sounded like her. She found a way of relying on open-ended vowels that allowed her to soften and elongate her phrases. This was the only time of the night when Ms. Singer Naorʻs chose to emulate, and what a moment it was. She matched Miss Holiday's resonance and phrasing in the first half of the song like no one I have ever heard, apparently as a tribute to Lady Day, and then in the second half of the song, Ms. Singer Naorʻs let loose with her own distinctive interpretation. She is a singer who has no limits. Mr. Dillon's originals and his slide guitar, along with some serious solos, added to every marvelous moment of this show. I loved his statement, "The blues are the root, everything else is the fruit." When I saw David Fraser in the audience, I hoped he brought his blues harp with him and would be sitting in at some point, and thankfully I was not disappointed. His contributions were so appreciated. Mrs. Dillon performed throughout the evening on various hand percussion instruments. Her participation was most welcome. Tom Fortier was responsible for the sound, and once again, Pro Arts Playhouse has distinguished itself as Maui's premier music listening venue. Finally, Jill Johnson of Aloha Growers and Marketing Management, along with Ms. Singer-Nav and Mr. Nav, selected the great black and white photos that provided not only a background for the show, but historical context for each number. They were most thoughtfully selected and were a welcome addition to the show. It was an outstanding evening by consummate professionals who were giving all they had. They will be giving their final performance in this series on November 16th. It will be a little bit of country with a surprise special guest. Go to www.proartsmaui.org for tickets and information. You don't want to miss this final performance in this music medicine series. I have a feeling this won't be the last time you see them at Pro Arts. They are just too good there, and I know I want to hear what else they can do. Finally, the Maui music scene is in mourning for the loss of the great Gene Argel, one of the kindest, most generous, and talented piano and Hammond organ players we have ever had. A Tacoma native, he came to Maui in 1982, where he was a fixture at Blackie's in Lahaina, along with Paul Marchetti, Emil Richards, and Bob Harrison, also known as Danny M. He backed up such artists as Branford Marsalis and George Benson, among many others. I think Gina Martinelli summed it up best, quote, "I can't put into words what this beautiful human meant to me in so many ways. He changed my life in music, being the first to give me a chance at jazz, which he was the king of. He was funny and so kind and truly a loyal friend. He will be more than missed. Amen." Mahalo nui loa for all the great music, Gene. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo for joining me. I'm Paul James Brown, Maui Strong, Ahui Ho, and here is some of Gene with son Shay doing "I Will Wait for You."
The clock may tick away the hours one by one. Then the time will come when all your waiting's done. The time when you return to find me here and run straight to my waiting arms. Yeah, anywhere you wander, anywhere you go, in your heart believe what in my heart I know. Every day remember, I still love you so, and forevermore I will wait for you. Forevermore I will wait for you.